So as part of module SS6082, motor cognition, we were required to complete a group presentation. The presentation was on skill acquisition, and we were to pick a unique skill, learn it, and present on it our experience and on the research behind skill acquisition. So as a group, myself, Dara, Jason, Naaman, we decided to do the basketball dribble because it was a sport that none of us had a lot of experience in. I have no experience in basketball at all, so it was definitely a unique skill for me to learn. In terms of what we did with the skill, we chose to do the behind the back and through the legs. We said we'd meet up once a week. Distance again got in the way of that for me. The three lads were in Limerick, so they were able to meet once a week and train. I tried to do it myself up in Galway, but it would have been a lot easier if I'd met with the guys and been able to go through it with them and see if I was doing it right. And I know they did a lot of training with a couple of, I think it was Jason and Eamon's friends, whereas I was working just off YouTube videos. We videoed the dribble itself. We used a couple of the lads' videos in the presentation, not all of them, because some of them were absolutely useless, like my own one. But it was a good experience, being able to see yourself. It's something that I've done previously for rugby and for refereeing, being able to look at yourself, and you can take good pointers from it and learn. So I think it's a very valuable and useful tool. For the presentation itself, and with the group, content wise, I felt like we were quite on top of it. Our content was reasonable. We set up a WhatsApp group and a Google Drive, and we kept putting papers into the Google Drive as we were going over through the weeks and picking up different bits and pieces. When we had bits highlighted and we'd notes made, we shared them with each other. So the group as a whole, the lads were very communicative, and if anybody had any questions or got stuck on anything, everybody was able to help each other out, and it was quite good in that regard. We had a lot of papers, a lot of different bits and pieces of information. I found it hard enough at the start to grasp it because I missed the lectures, and I don't know, was it a confidence thing, but we got there in the end, and I find the presentations even useful in that sense that you can learn a lot from them. It might be over a short space of time, but you definitely learn a lot from them. For the presentation, I put my hand up after the first presentation on Monday and said I would give Prezi a go. It was feedback from the first presentation that it was bog standard, and it was very plain, and I 100% agree with it. So I gave Prezi a go. I hadn't ever put together a Prezi before, and I found it quite hard, quite difficult. I didn't really like it at all, but I gave up on it. I shouldn't have given up on it, and I should have asked for a bit of help or seen if one of the lads knew how to work it properly. But we struggled with getting the videos in together. We know now that you put them into YouTube and then it's good to go. But yeah, it's something that we fell down on, and I would agree that we could have done better in that aspect. We tried to jazz our PowerPoint up a little bit with a couple of pictures and a few videos. The videos didn't really work out too well for us either. Transferring from the Mac to the Windows computer, they flipped on the side, and again, we didn't fix it, and we should have taken the time to do it. 100% taken on board there. For the actual presentation, it was very rushed. This kind of the first stumbling block and kind of the big one for the group is we had said during the practice sessions that it needed to be cut down, and mainly on the first two stages of the skill acquisition that the lads were presenting, that it needed to be condensed. The lads ran way over time, and it put a lot of pressure on myself and on Dara. Dara only got to do an introduction, and he never got to do a conclusion section. My bit, I was planning on bringing a little bit of a few rhetorical questions or a few questions in for the people who were watching, just to try and make it more engaging after the feedback from the first presentation on Monday. But once we realised how much time we'd left, it was kind of panic, and it was just get the information that we wanted to get said. And I went completely out the window. So I found that quite frustrating. But again, it's another lesson learned for the future. The first presentation I was quite happy because I didn't read from notes, whereas this time when the time crunch kind of came, I picked up the notes again off the table and kept them with me because I felt under pressure and wasn't with that confidence slipped. So overall, I was happy and unhappy with the presentation. I unhappy in the sense that we didn't get a chance to take on, not even a chance to take on, but didn't use the feedback that we got in the first session on Monday for the second presentation on the Tuesday. But like with the motor cognition video or reflection, I was happy with certain aspects. I do feel like my presentation skills are getting better. I've taken the first steps to learning Prezi, and I think that soon enough I'll get a grasp on it and we'll be able to put together something good.